All right, welcome to the channel, Spirit Child 1723. We're going to do some readings for May, and we're going to start off with Taurus. These are all pre-recorded. I don't edit. I let it roll right through the way it comes out, unless there's no sound or something that makes me start over. Welcome everyone to kick back, and we're going to do it different. We're going to use a few decks, quite a few decks, Ascended Masters and just a regular angel deck and daily guidance. We're just going to look for a different uh, type of message rather than the angel tarot. So Taurus spirit in the month of May. What are the messages for Taurus in the month of May? Hope everyone's doing decent. And those of you celebrated any religious holidays, hope they all went well. All right, first card out, spiritual growth. And then we have ideas and inspiration. Taurus, month of May. Okay. One more card for Taurus. We gotta find out what's going on, what they need to know. And music. All right. So our first card is spiritual growth. So some of you on a spiritual path or a spiritual quest, or some of you starting to ascend. Some of you might have had a little bit of a dark night of the soul. And it's all good. It's all gonna help you move forward, and manifest the right type of things that you need, from here out. All right, Taurus, ideas and inspirations. So this is talking about quiet time. This is talking about you getting messages, whether they're audible, or however you connect with your angels or your guides. This is saying to listen for the messages because they're coming. And sometimes, when you're new at this and you haven't developed some of your intuition or learned to trust it, whichever one the case is, you're like, I don't know, that doesn't make sense, or I don't understand what they're trying to tell me to do. So, um, sometimes you need to act out, and you kind of got to build that rapport and relationship, and it'll get easier. But you definitely have to take action with the first piece of information given, if you want to expect, if you expect to receive more messages, I guess is what I'm trying to say. For some of you, we got a connection with music. Music is very healing. Everything's vibration. The angel's energy is light, frequency, vibration, sound, kind of redundant, but it's all the pulses and the waves of energy, right? It just it goes on at a higher frequency than where we exist, but it's always there. So saying music is a hit for some of you guys, Taurus. That's your connection. That's your healing thing, you know? All right. Now, out of this deck, we have Archangel Raphael, the healing angels with you, supporting your healing work. So some of you, along with that spiritual quest, there's probably a lot of healing and forgiveness. And then you have Archangel Michael, working very closely with this powerful archangel who's protecting and guiding you through this situation. So some of you guys are starting to, and then law of attraction. Yeah, some of you are starting to understand your purpose. There's a lot of healing energy around you. They say it's there and it'll support you. If you reach out to it, you accept it. You got to ask. You know, whether it's ascended master or angel, even your spirit guide, you got to give them permission to interact with you and be part of your will. Um, they say Archangel Michael's the biggest, strongest archangel. Kind of his calling card's a cobalt blue with white sparkles. Leaning towards like a bluish purple. Um, you this card here sort of has the eggplant colors, but Archangel Michael is about truth, standing up for truth and integrity, honesty, fighting the fight, helping you fight demons, whether they're inside your world, your inside world, or your outside world. That's the go-to, and his assistants are the Band of Mercy, a group of angels. Then we have Law of Attraction. All right, guys. Relationships and activities that you once enjoyed are now changing as you become more sensitive and aware of your energies. So, yeah, we had spiritual growth up in that top row. Some of you are going through a little ascension process, and some foods will start to disagree with you. I'm far from a perfect diet, for energy work, but it's a lot better than it was in the last 12 years. I allow myself to be human. I allow myself to go off course at times and not beat myself up. Those are just some of the things I've learned. And sometimes, just the taste of something can be good enough. And believe me, I never thought that'd be the case with some things. But if I eat too much of something sweet, I pay for it now. All right, we got another row. Taurus in the month of May. This looks like the Ascended Master deck. So let's please and thank you, Spirit. Give me a few cards for Taurus in the month of May. Again, we're going to deal with a different energy than what we've been doing. I got through that one set of classes I was taking. Nurture Yourself, Mother Mary. Yeah, some of you are on a healing journey. And that's all. Take charge of the situation. Moses. There's all kinds of different energies here. And one more. Let's see. Come out of the closet. Amaterasu. Amaterasu. Yeah, Terusu. Japanese. Easy for you to say. All right. Nurture yourself, Mother Mary. So, most people in most cultures are all familiar with some form of, the adoration, love, the female aspect of God, whether it's tied to religion or spirituality. There's a lot of people that call on this energy. This is a female, feminine energy that it's about compassion. It's about having self-compassion for yourself. Not beating yourself up, treating yourself as somebody like your grandmother would treat you. If she wasn't an abusive person. Take charge of the situation. So this is showing you standing in your power. Some of you are probably already aware that you have some gifts and you have some leadership qualities that you can now stand on, and they're saying to make the decisions, and stand in your truth. Archangel Michael will always stand there with you. This one here is about self-beauty. This is a lady, the story goes, this is a lady that she was in a cave, and she was scared to see her own reflection in a mirror because she didn't think she was beautiful enough. And she was drop dead gorgeous, for the time in that culture and everything. So, again, with that self-compassion and, there's beauty that reflects from the inside as well as the outside, but not to be hard on yourself and not to beat yourself up for, not, being in, I don't know, what do models make up? 3% of the whole population, so it's a real, unlevel, comparison, when someone wants to have looks of the people that qualify for being models. We're going to take just one card from this. This is Angel Message from the Daily Guidance. And Play comes out. I need to hear that, and I need that. All right. I'm just reading the card straight out of the card. I'm watching this young girl skip over. She's got wings, I don't know what's going on here. She's playing in the lily pads. Beloved one, it's time to set aside work for a while. Don't worry. We'll oversee your responsibilities to their completion. playfulness, gaiety, and laughter will lift your energy so that when you return to work with a renewed perspective, so you will return to work with a renewed perspective and heightened energy. Um, I know for myself, I've gone down the path of workaholism, um, and it's not good. At minimum, I think everybody needs 2 full weeks removed from the work atmosphere and not necessarily doing projects around the house. To come back refreshed, rejuvenated. And they don't have to be expensive, vacations, but um, all work, man. Nah, not good. And I've gotten it 100 times in my life. The angels always say, even when you're doing stuff around the house, you know what I mean? It's like do an hour and then take 15 minutes off. Like I'll push myself 2 or 3 hours in the heat and because I want to get it done. I want to get it done. And always the message I receive is like, do something and take a break. Do something and take a break. Even if you have a demanding like factory job or something, you got to get times in where you stop it. You stop it, 3 or 4 times a day, however you can. All right. We're gonna lay one card, only one romance card in here, or relationship card, or love card. I don't know, whatever you want to call it. This is Taurus in the month of May. Spirit, well, 2 popped out, so we're gonna take them. They were stuck together. So Sword and Rose. I don't care what the card says, but this is about truth. I guess the sword protection. But self-truth, like, sort of like don't play yourself, you know what I mean? Don't get caught up in something that's illusionary. I don't know why I'm saying that, but be true with yourself, be true with your situations, something ain't right with a lover, cut your losses, man. Cut your losses. Then we have inseparable. Our love is always there despite the distance. So some of you guys might have a tie with somebody that comes and goes, and sometimes timeouts needed, and different perspectives needed, and it can get real difficult when you're sharing the responsibilities of bringing up a child. That always makes the relationship. You got to interact at some level. It's not like just cut off. You can't talk to this person, especially if you're passing children, back and forth on a weekly basis or every 2 weeks or whatever, even for day trips. But I'm getting this energy of this could be a passed over loved one too. Just reminding you that love, that bridge, your heart is the bridge to connecting with anyone, right? In the spirit world, it's from heart to heart. Even a medium will tell you, they need all your defenses down, right? And you have to have an open heart to the person that you want to connect with. They need that to cross the bridge. Someone can do it without it, but it's often needed. It's a 3-way connection is what I'm getting at, is the medium, right? Person being read, person that wants the reading. They got to all be involved. Those communication lines got to go to all 3. They can't be a block somewhere. And as a general rule, anyone that's done that type of work for a long time, they won't read for a loved one till they're on the other side for about 6 months. That's a good rule. A year's even preferably better. There's a whole mess of reasons. We can talk about that in some other different video. All right, we're gonna get one card to close it up from your future higher self. All right, guys and girls. Let's see what we got here for your future self. This is Taurus, the sign of Taurus in the month of May. One card from your future self, please and thank you, Spirit. I'm going to shuffle 3 more times. Nothing. Oh, there you go. I was going to say, if nothing jumps, I'll take the top card. So your future self says, continue to make the most of every open door. It says, see opportunities when sometimes they don't look like opportunities, but stuff being removed, stuff putting in your life, always look for, how that could lead to something else, And a lot of this has to do with letting go of the past, you know what I mean? Forgiving yourself for the past you have if you think you did it to yourself. But also um, just be open to don't. My suggestion is not to classify stuff good and bad. We're not qualified to do that for the most part. We don't know what the spirit world is always doing behind the scenes and why we went through something. And you can spend your whole life sometimes trying to get that answer and not get it. It's like my sister lost my nephew at college age. There's no good answer. You know what I mean? There's no good answer. She goes on faith. That's going to be all right. It was meant to be that way. Somehow she got to that point, and I believe my brother-in-law got there too. So that's what I have for you, Taurus. We were keeping it light today, and I appreciate everyone who subscribed. If you can, share a video. Give me a like once in a while. I appreciate it. Have a great month.